Welcome to Accounting Theory classes. I am Venkatmurthy SG, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Monkey. Topic of the session: Classification of Liabilities. Content of the session: Meaning and classification of current liabilities, meaning and classification of non-current liabilities, meaning and classification of contingent liabilities, meaning and classification of owners. Classification of liability. There are four main classification of liabilities based on their repayment period and their features related to any business class. Namely, A. Current liabilities or short-term liabilities. B. Non-current liabilities or long-term liabilities. C. Contingent liabilities. D. Owner's equity. Current liabilities. Current liabilities, also known as short-term liabilities, are debt or obligations that need to be paid within a year. Another word for these liabilities is short-term liabilities, as they become due within a shorter period of less than 1 year. Current liabilities should be closely watched by the management to make sure the company possesses enough liquidity from current assets to guarantee the debt or obligations can be met in short notice or short time. Different types of current liabilities or short-term liabilities are as follows. 1. Account payable. Number 2. Interest payable. Number 3. Income taxes payable or provision for taxes. Number 4. Bills payable. Number 5. Bank overdraft or short-term borrowings from banks and financial institutions. Number 6. Accrued expenses or outstanding expenses. Number 7. Short-term loans. Number 8. Income received in advance. Non-current liabilities or long-term liabilities. Non-current liabilities, also known as long-term liabilities, are debt or obligations that are due in over a year's time. In other words, long-term liabilities are those liabilities which don't due immediately but become due after a year or more. Long-term liabilities are an important part of companies' long-term financing policy. Companies take on long-term debt to acquire immediate capital to fund the purchase of capital assets or invest in new capital projects. Different types of non-current liabilities or long-term liabilities are as follows. Number 1. Debentures or bonds. Debenture amount or bond amounts are collected from issue of debentures or bonds to the public. Number 2. Term loans. The term loans are usually the long-term loans extended more than 5 years and up to 25 years by any financial institutions or banks. Mortgage loans. Mortgage loans are secured loans which are issued by the financial institutions or banks taking the mortgage of any valuable asset of the business or company for issue of the loans. Contingent liabilities. Contingent liabilities are liabilities that may occur depending on the outcome of future events. Therefore, contingent liabilities are potential liabilities. Contingency signifies something which may or may not take place. If liability is due to the happening of such event, it is termed as contingent liabilities. Contingent liabilities are usually the liabilities which may or may not happen. In case of certain product, they will going to provide warranty for the product after purchase. If something happened to the product within the warranty period, then only the contingent liability will arise on that particular product for the company which sold by that company. Example for contingent liabilities are lawsuits, product warranties, default in supply, breach of contract, damage to the environment, damage to the prestige of some person or entity due to the acts or activities of the company. Capital or owner's equity. Owner's equity is the residual interest in the asset of an enterprise. Therefore, owner's equity section of the balance sheet shows the amount the owners have invested in the entity. In other words, owner's equity is the part of book value belonging to the owners or proprietors or shareholders of the firm after payment of the all kind of liability claims to the outsider or any other creditors. Classifications of owner's equity. Owner's equity can be classified into following categories. One is equity shares. Equity shares are the common shares issued to the real owners of the company. They are not entitled for fixed dividend or any kind of returns, but they are the real owners of the company and they have the voting power to decide the directorship of the firm. Preference shares. Preference shares are the shares which are given preference in repayment of the amount and payment of the dividend over the equity shareholders. They are not entitled for voting right in normal case. Third one, retained earnings. Retained earnings are accumulated profits or reserves are established by the company out of its profit earned in previous years. These retained earnings are belongs to the equity shareholders. References of the session are as follows. Thank you.